from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
An update on redevelopment plans at Willow Lawn and an honor for a famed Henrico racehorse. We'll tell you about those stories and more in today's Henrico News Minute. It's Tuesday, October 10th, 2023, and it's brought to you today by Disco Sports.
And now for the news.
Plans for a remake at Willow Lawn have now earned the approval of Henrico Planning Department staff members. After two community meetings with residents and nearby property owners, the owners of Willow Lawn have resubmitted with additional details their proposal to remake the shopping center. Now the Henrico Planning Commission is set to hear the case later this week on Thursday. Maryland-based Federal Realty Trust wants to rezone the site's 37-plus acres to an urban mixed-use planned development district. The company is proposing to create 11 distinctive areas at the site with a mixture of residential and commercial uses as well as a central courtyard. The development would take place slowly in stages during the next 2 to 3 decades, but eventually Willow Lawn could contain approximately 2,000 residential units and more than 500,000 square feet of commercial and office space. Now, the company has proposed some changes to its original proposal, including limiting all buildings to 100 feet except for a possible signature building, which could be up to 150 feet tall. It's also proposing to limit the density of new development and restrict the hours of operation for businesses to require that all be closed between midnight and 6 a.m. unless they have an existing provisional use permit that allows different hours. You can read more about this topic right now on our website, henricocitizen.com. That Planning Commission meeting happens Thursday at 7 p.m. Then the Board of Supervisors would hold ultimate decision-making authority after that. Well, if you did not know that one of the most famous racehorses in American history was born in Henrico County, you're probably not alone, but that may change soon with the erection of a new historical marker in honor of the famed horse Boston. The Virginia Board of Historic Resources last month approved a request for the placement of that historical highway marker. It's likely to be located across from an office building at 10431 Patterson Avenue in Henrico's far west end. That's a spot close to where Boston was born and raised. The horse lived from 1833 to 1850. He won 40 of his 45 racing starts during a 7.5-year career, including 15 consecutive wins. All but 3 of those races were 3 or 4 miles in length across open country during a time when those types of races were the standard. Boston was an inaugural inductee into the National Museum of Racing's Hall of Fame in Saratoga Springs, New York. Henrico County Public Schools officials have found a quick solution for their teacher shortage: board substitutes. While the school division had more than 200 vacant teaching positions on August 8th, about 2 weeks before the first day of school, school system officials were able to lower that number to about 68 vacancies by September 25th after hiring 119 board substitutes. Those are teachers who do not have a teacher license or provisional license, but they must have a bachelor's degree. They're long-term substitutes who are required to teach a class for at least 21 consecutive days, but for no more than 6 months. Now, on August 8th, the school system had 206.5 teacher vacancies division-wide. By September 15th, that number was down to 186.4, but the 119 board substitutes brought that number down farther to 67. Fewer people are graduating from teacher licensure programs statewide, so school systems like Henrico have had to get more creative and look for candidates who haven't been fully licensed yet, according to Kenya Jackson, who's the head of talent acquisition for the school system. Now, you can read much more about this topic and see where those remaining vacancies are from our education reporter, Leanna Hardy. Her report is on henricocitizen.com right now. And some mixed news for Henrico County Public Schools as statewide accreditation data has been released by the Virginia Department of Education. It shows that 2 Henrico schools gained full accreditation status this year, but one other was downgraded from accredited to accredited with conditions. Elko Middle School and Montrose Elementary were rated as accredited with conditions last year, but both earned their accreditation this year. Conversely, Varina High School is now accredited with conditions. There are also 10 other schools in the county that are accredited with conditions. Each also held that same status last year. Accreditation ratings are based upon each school's academic performance, achievement gaps between student groups, and student engagement. They are a way that the state measures the overall academic progress of a school. The 11 Henrico schools labeled as accredited with conditions amount to 16% of the county's total schools that were rated. Statewide, about 11% of schools are accredited with conditions. The VDOE also reported that 18 of Henrico's schools were rated a level 3 in one or more school quality indicator, meaning that they fell below state standards in one or more areas. The state evaluates schools on a 3-level system in which level 1 is the best and level 3 is the worst. And right now on HenricoCitizen.com you can read more about this accreditation data, again from our education reporter Leanna Hardy. Fall sports are back, and Disco Sports is your locally owned source for everything you need to get on the field. Save 15% when you buy at least 3 soccer items. Save on all your 2024 baseball and softball equipment needs, or pick up some new pickleball paddles. Visit discosports.com or just stop by 1400 Starling Drive just off Quioccasin Road next to BJ's. That's Disco Sports.